Hello everybody, my name is Pixie People, and man, posting 2 videos 2 days in a row. Impressive, I gotta say. Well, let's get into it. Well, we continue our story. Well, where we left off, Yamcha and Tien going, well, and Krillin and Piccolo going to train. Well, and Gohan. Well, it's mostly just Yamcha and Tien fighting. But yes, Piccolo does just ask Yamcha to fight sometimes. It's usually Piccolo who wins, but don't count him out yet. He gets his fair wins. And yeah, well, they just trained for a couple years, and well, with Goku as well. I forgot to see Goku's there as well. Vegeta left, if you're wondering. So they're training. A couple years later, Yamcha is taking a nice stroll. Well, until he hears a massive explosion. Then he instantly knows what this is, because he's in, I forgot what the town was called, but where the first androids attack. So he quickly gets into a phone booth, don't worry, and changes into his Z Fighter clothes, and then just starts flying towards the zone. And yes, he gets there, stances up, and yes, Dr. Gero and Android 17, 18, I think this is 19. Yeah, the clown, that's 19. Basically the one that Vegeta killed. So, yeah, Dr. Gero does underestimate Yamcha because he's the weakest Z Fighter. Not really, the weakest one right now is Gohan. But as soon as he unlocks Super Saiyan, then launches right in front of it. That's basically in front of Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha. As soon as he unlocks Super Saiyan. But sorry, I'm dying. Well, Yamcha is about to gets grabbed by the face, but this Yamcha, instead of getting penetrated, cuts Dr. Gero's arm off. But luckily for Gero, Dr. Android 19 punch kicks Yamcha away, which makes the hand fall off of Yamcha, Dr. Gero's. Then Dr. Gero reconnects it and says, blind luck. Then Yamcha throws a key blast, but they absorb it. Then Yamcha immediately picks up on this and just decides to go straight hands. And because the Wolfame fist is just hands, that's it. So he waits until one of them attack. And Android 19 goes for him, because Dr. Gero still needs to regenerate his arm and make it move. Yamcha. Okay. Then Yamcha parries Android 19, then penetrates him, but, he eats it and gives Yamcha a bear hug. Basically what he did to Goku. About to break one of his spine. Yamcha barely escapes it before rib his rib cracks, but he's fine. Then Yamcha throws a ki blast again, so Android 19 puts his hand up, but Yamcha redirects it and then slams it into Android 19's face, which shoots off half of his face, but he eats it, and then is about to blitz Yamcha until Goku shows up and saves him. with a punch to Android 19's face. And since Android 19 is a bit weakened, yeah, Goku is able to kill him this time. Mostly because he's able to Kamehameha him instantly because Yamcha holding him down. Man, I forgot to explain it. Yamcha then kicks him into the air and Goku hits him with a teleported Kamehameha. He he instant transmissions and then hits him with a Kamehameha, killing Android 19. But really quickly he gets the heart virus and knocks over. So Dr. Gero tries to get to Goku, but Yamcha protects him, and then he gets his power drained. A lot of it drained, by the way. But he's able to shoot. He's able to power one of his fists up with ki. Think like Bardock's punch, and he clocks him in the stomach. Android Dr. Gero. As soon as Vegeta, Piccolo, and everyone else shows up, Krillin's Yamcha's on the ground, still conscious but just very exhausted. Dr. Gero, they can see him running away, but they have to attend with Goku first. Vegeta doesn't care. He goes flying. So does Trunks. Right? He's there yet? Oh, yeah. Afterwards, Yamcha gets a senzu bean, cracks it in his mouth, then picks up, then just, then follows the key signatures of all the Z fighters. Lands. He knows that he doesn't need to be there for Goku. Goku will be fine. So he shows up to find Yamcha, Trunks, and Vegeta arguing, but Yamcha just shows up eventually. But Yamcha just walks straight past them and goes into the then then uses like his key sword, like like hilt and sword, not like Goku Black, but like an actual sword. Slashes a bunch of a square, opens up, stealths in like a freaking spy. Sees Dr. Gero bickering with probably the ones Trunks was talking about. Bickering with Vegeta about, saying that wasn't the androids. He sneaks behind, finding the 16 pod. The two, then the black-haired one of them, the blonde was still bickering with the old man. Walks towards 16, the 16 named pod. So Yamcha just immediately hops out and kicks Andro- uh, Android 17 in the face. He does some damage, slamming into 18, slamming him into a pod. Dr. Gero gets surprised, and so Yamcha just immediately kills him with a massive Kamehameha. Yeah, that Kamehameha that he said he'd use against Nappa, but died before he could use it, blowing the entire civility up. With then Trunks, Vegeta, and everyone, other Z fighters, realizing that Yamcha's not there, that well, not Yamcha, but realized that there was a hole in the base and it was just exploded. But not luckily for them, Android 17 and 18 live. Well, Dr. Gero just perished. But then they just and then they get then they start pummeling Yamcha for shooting at them wildly. But Yamcha doesn't just take this. Hits him with the Kaioken times 5. Yes. No. Okay. No. 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 He'd say Kaioken times 10. boosting them away, and then he just starts blitzing them. But eventually they catch him and take him down, and is starting to lose until Vegeta and everyone shows up to help him. Of course, they still Android 18 claps every Z fighter up. Yamcha barely being able to stand, but he's able to. He's the one with the Sansu bean, so that was pretty lucky. Krillin's almost fine, but he's barely up. So he gives everyone Sensu beans. Has to split one between him and Krillin though, because they're the people that are the most fine. So the bag is empty. So all Z fighters are at full strength, because Krillin and Yamcha were severely hurt, but not as much as the other fighters. You know, with Vegeta having a broken arm, holding his left arm again. He's held it this multiple times already. Alright, anyways. Yamcha and the Z fighters fly over to Goku's house. Actually, Yamcha decides to try to find Piccolo because Piccolo just head out after he got the Senzu bean. So he followed Piccolo and started feeling his ki out, and then finally went to, I think it was called Sunnytown, where where Piccolo was at after he fused with Kami, who's chilling. So he flies over there, lands, and finds Piccolo just standing there, uh, looking like he's thinking. So he walks over to him. Piccolo then tries to swing at Yamcha, but he dodges it, barely. And then he asks, "What was that for?" I'm on edge. From what? There's a presence. It doesn't matter. I heard some key being faded out over here. Hmm. It does feel a bit quiet for a city. So they walk in, and then they find clothes all over the ground. Yamcha and Piccolo get a bit scared, because, someone's killing people. Or taking their clothes off for some reason, then killing them. It's pretty weird. That is until they hear stomp, 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 and then they turn behind them, seeing a really disgusting bug creature. Yes, it's Cell, first form Cell. So they look at each other, like, who is this guy? So Yamcha strikes up a conversation, who he is, and he says his name is Cell, an organism created by Dr. Gero to absorb 17 and 18 to achieve his perfect form. But for right now, he has to power up to be as strong as his siblings. Wasn't there a What about 16? Yeah, that's not my primary objective. Um, okay. Come here. And then he gets blitzed, and Cell is about to freaking stab into him, but Piccolo takes it in the arm, gets some of his power sucked out, but, he eats it, and then Cell hits him with a solar flare, and then he disappears. So then Piccolo regenerates his arm, while while Yamcha gets a bit spooked that didn't work. It usually works when he does something really fast. Not this time. All right, Yamcha and Piccolo just then fly out to warn the Sea Fighters. Actually, not the Sea Fighters. They go to find the androids. Piccolo suggests they go to Kame House, and Yamcha just follows. They head out there, finding the androids, and and Yamcha does feel the android's the cell. So he flies super hard, really fast. Like, yeah. He's they fly. Yamcha flies faster than Piccolo, which Piccolo tries to catch up with Yamcha, but Yamcha's just faster. Mostly because he's just used to high speeds, while Piccolo's used to like tanking attacks. Yamcha then spins and saves Android 17 by kicking Cell in the throat, kicking him away, saving him. So Android 17, oh thank God I was getting them right. Looks at Yamcha like, I don't need your assistance. So he says, "What are you doing here? You were about to die." I thanks is into order. I didn't need your help. But then 16 just goes and fights Cell, slamming it to the ground, shooting a lot of ki into him, shooting his master stick landings. Then Cell appears behind 17 again, and actually gets him this time, but Yamcha does make the good decision in trying to hit him with a Kamehameha, but, no, actually, no, he doesn't try hitting him with a Kamehameha. He tries to hit him with a, let's say the Buddha fist. Buddha, Buddha Wolf Fang fist. Basically, he has a lot of hands, and he's about to punch at him. A couple of them have open palms, and a couple of them have, like, wolves. But he already gets into his second form, shooting, then catching Yamcha's both of his arms, and tanking all of the smacks and cuts, and then headbutting Yamcha, and then freaking throwing him real hard. He throws him so far he skips across the water, and gets into the water. Yamcha powers through it, goes into Kaioken times 10, and Kaioken times 10. Flies, then Yamcha flies back out, seeing Piccolo protect, well, and 16 protect Android 18. 18, of course, Yamcha makes a good decision, and instead of making 18 make the decision, he picks her up. He he picks her up with no conversation, and then she flies off, and she's like about to hit Yamcha, but Yamcha just shuts that down immediately by freaking throwing her and hitting her with a non-lethal ki blast, shooting her really far away. Um, Cell sees this and just immediately bodies Piccolo and 16, but 16 lives, and so does Piccolo. Piccolo then grabs 16, chucks him as far as Yamcha through 18, and Cell's about to follow 16 until Yamcha shows up with his Buddha Wolfang fist and actually hits it this time, but doesn't do a lot. But his actual fists do way more damage than the ki around him. Eventually, the fists run out and Yamcha gets tired, and then gets freaking one tapped on the, one tapped on the head, shooting him really far into the ocean. He's still in Kaioken. He actually no, he gets knocked out of Kaioken, and he doesn't really know what he's doing, because what is he supposed to do against an android that doesn't have any, that can't get exhausted, any of that? What could a mere human do? Till Yamcha and his eyes glow with his ki aura, basically let's say blue. And Yamcha yells, Kaioken times 100, which basically his body is about to explode if he gets out of the state, which he's gonna use it as long as possible to save the Earth. He'll just be revived by the Dragon Balls. He'll be fine. So he just freaking clocks 60 Cell in the throat, which does a bit of damage, but not as much as like Vegeta buff form would do. But he's still doing a lot of damage. He's hitting with the Buddha Fist, the Trigam Fist, basically growing arms out of his back and then punching him. Basically, he does Buddha Fist times 2 with tri the Trigam Fist, and just freaking speeds on Cell, keeping him off 18 for a bit until Kaioken times 100 runs out and Yamcha basically all of his bones just break and he vomits onto Cell to see if that would work. He vomits onto Cell. Cell does not react to the vomit and just freaking knees Vegeta Yamcha in the stomach, grabbing him in the leg and then choking him. Then him hitting the ground, making a massive crater. And then Yamcha's basically out cold. So he's not able to help Trunks. But he does get teleported and saved by Goku. And Goku then makes Yamcha eat a senzu bean, and you know, he he wakes up, vomits off the tower, and then asks, "Is Cell dead?" Nope. Vegeta let him absorb 18, so no. He also just flew off afterwards. Didn't kill anyone, weirdly. Well, me and Gohan are gonna go into the time chamber. Uh, okay. We'll see you later, Goku. See you, Yamcha. Well, that was rude. Hey, Tien. Yes, Yamcha. Why do you look, in pain? Oh, I saved your ass. How? I used Trigarm on Cell, hurting him a lot, Vegeta still ruined my chances of looking cooler. And well, afterwards, Goku and Gohan come out of the chamber. But then, Goku looks over to Kami, no, over to Yamcha and Yamcha and Tien, who are looking at Goku like, "We're going in after you guys." Oh, y'all want to go in? Yeah, I think we need some more time. Then, Yamcha and Tien enter, and they train. And Yamcha gets a new power, which we will reveal later when he's fighting Cell. Afterwards. Alright, so now it's the Cell games. They're all stanced up there. Everything happens normally. Until, as Gohan is about to be brought up by Goku, Yamcha stands in front of Gohan, telling Goku with his eyes he can do this, but Goku knows he can. but he lets Yamcha do what he has to do. So Yamcha, Yamcha goes over to Cell. Cell pitifully laughing, telling you, "What are you gonna do? You're a human, while I'm perfection incarnate." Then Yamcha breathes in and out. Get ready. And then he powers. Then Yamcha starts powering up, which actually gives Cell a bit of a concern because Yamcha was not this strong when they were fighting. He's actually getting stronger the more he powers up. Yamcha starts growing whiskers, very large whiskers, if you're wondering. Then he grows basically Super Saiyan 4 type hair on his body. Then grows his tail out, but it's a black wolf instead of like a gray or white one. Then Yamcha basically becomes a furry. Yeah, he gets into the fan-made Yamcha as a wolf type thing and tells Cell to bring it. Are we doing on time? We're doing great on time. And Yamcha and Cell is impressed, but says it's pitiful against him, and they instantly start scrapping. Cell kicking at Yamcha, but Yamcha dodges it, cutting off his leg. Then Wolf Fang fisting him with multiple arms, beating the crap out of him. Then hitting him with two Kamehamehas at the same time, mixing them together to make a bigger one. But Cell counters with a. Do you think a barrier could work? But Yamcha predicts this because Android 17 flies up on Cell and just clocks him so hard, one of his throw things punch off. But Cell, but Yamcha doesn't stop at that. And then punches through Cell's stomach, putting his hand through him, then tearing Cell in half. Cell just about to laugh because Yamcha Goku did this easily, but Yamcha does something even weirder, well, weirder, but cooler. He does the exact same thing he did last time, where he did two Kamehamehas, but in two different directions. Then he controls both Kamehamehas until they hit Cell's separated limbs. Until Cell cuts off his head. Basically, volleyballs it away to his legs, then kicks it away. So his every single body part, except his head, gets obliterated, and then he regenerates again, telling Yamcha, "You thought it would be that easy?" That is until he looks around and sees that there's multiple energy balls around him. We got a bit later. While Yamcha was doing the whole controlling the Kamehamehas, his two other arms that weren't following the Kamehamehas shot off a whole bunch of ki blast. And then Yamcha does freaking put his hands up and puts them down, and then they all careen into Cell, basically bodying Cell. But Cell eats it and reforms, and then gets Yamcha with a freaking mean kick to the stomach, actually penetrating him and making Yamcha vomit blood out. Then Yamcha gets his arm blown off by Cell using a ki blast. Then 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 kicking Yamcha off him, and then Yamcha like yelling in pain, slamming onto the ground next to Gohan. Which Gohan definitely reacts to this because this guy just Yamcha just sacrificed himself for him. Get it? Because he didn't let this child fight for the world. That girl does not deserve to be forced into this. But he ended up he's coughing out saying to Gohan, "Sorry." and then he dies. Then Gohan becomes Super Saiyan 2, and then the exact same battle that happens with basically just think yeah, basically the exact same thing, except when they teleport to Kami's, Yamcha immediately kicks Goku away from Kame House, trying to save him, but it doesn't work. But yeah, and Goku definitely was surprised by it. He was trying to save Goku, but Goku just decided to kill himself. So basically, Yamcha's just floating, sitting on the trail with King Kai, who just died, with Goku, reading, putting his hand on King Kai's shoulder. That is until Goku powers up. Um, then Yamcha sees Goku powering up into a Super Saiyan without his gold hair, which weirds him out, but he ignores it. Then Goku shows up in his angel form, and then not angel form, but in his basically his wrathful form, and helps Gohan defeat Cell, killing Cell. Eventually, Yamcha gets revived with Goku about to be revived after Yamcha, but Goku didn't want to be revived. That's weird. Well, that's where I'm gonna leave things right now. See y'all later. I hope you like this part. Yes,